Global happenings today. We communicate. We analyze global news.
No. Fubara, you know the situation.
What's
he
the
has
situation?
been caged. And he has been caged. And you know it. You know that all the landmines that were placed before him to make him not be interested in participating in politics is there.
Now that was a chieftain of the People Democratic Party who was part of the PDP National Convention, talking about Umar Sani, and he still have a lot to tell Nigerians. Now he spoke about Fubara. The reason why Fubara was not a part of the National Convention of the People Democratic Party. Now, inter alia, he shed light on Wike also. One of the conditions that Wike gave when they were demanding for him to be reconciled back to the party. It will shock you. One of the conditions that Wike gave to them, that if the reconciliation must take place, and it has to do, it has a lot to do around filing 2027 presidential candidate. Let me allow you watch the video. We'll be back again with my colleague to talk more on that.
And secondly, the issue of whether INEC presence or absence, will put to question the convention. It's not correct. The Electoral Act is very clear. It says INEC may attend. And in the convention that brought in Aburi, INEC did not attend. They did not attend. And they said they were not going to recognize Aburi. He went to court, got an order, and INEC said, in obedience to that order, we are recognizing him. And as I'm speaking to you now, up to now, the name of Aburi is on the portal of INEC as the duly recognized chairman of Labour Party. Now, these are to put the perspectives for people to understand that the coming of INEC will not validate or invalidate the convention. The statutory requirements for the convention, which was to give them 21-day notice, has been given. And we have gone ahead to hold our convention in compliance with statutory court orders. The last court order that was issued was on Friday around 2:30 by Justice A.L. Akintola of the Oyo State High Court, who has a jurisdiction to entertain the matter and who has been entertaining the matter. And as a lawyer, the principle of last in. So it gives us that leverage to conduct our convention. Secondly, on the issue of Nyesom Wike and the rest carrying the party on their shoulders, and that the actions we took was coming a little bit too late. I want to say that the actions we took, it is better late than never. And even when we were saying we were going to resolve this thing as a family, it became very clear that there was no way we could resolve it as a family, because the BOT, in their last resolve to settle the matter, set up the Ambassador Hassan Adamu Committee for Reconciliation, which had Mike Ogiadome as the secretary, to try to broker some peace and reconciliation within the two camps, because I don't want to call them faction. A faction has been described by the Electoral Act that a court must recognize one of the two as a faction before you can call it a faction. So it's just, an internal dispute within us. And I think Wike almost said so in his interview on national television, where he said it's a dispute among family members. Now, having said all this, now Hassan Adamu approached Wike, the committee approached Wike.
All right.
He said there are one of his conditions is that we must agree that we are not going to field a presidential candidate in 2027. That is the only condition that he will allow peace, or that this is a fight to finish. This is what he said. And so we cannot wait for a fight to finish.
Yes.
We can't wait for a fight to finish.
Yes.
We have to end the fight.
All right, welcome back. That was quite explanatory, and my colleagues in the house, we just want to throw light and also look at, the different side of the coin as it has to do with this issue of Wike, the fact that there is two factions, though the man said there is nothing like faction and all of that, but we know already that right now there are two sides to this whole battle. Now, he made a statement about some of the demands of Wike, and he says that one of it was that they should not file any presidential candidate for 2027. In other words, Bola Tinubu should go on or pose. And then if they decline that, then they have to fight this fight till the end. Now, what do you think is going to be the next move by Wike, considering the fact that they have sidelined him, expelled him, and they have decided to move on?
Now, let's look at this critically. Please, let's all be objective. Now, the truth be told, Wike is not fighting this thing for himself.
Yes.
He's fighting this thing for Mr. President. It's for the presidency. Now, Mr. President here has all the apparatus, all the agencies, all the tools answerable to him. Like it or yes, that is the situation on ground. Now, by virtue of party politics, by virtue of party constitution, the power vested on PDP, they have expelled him or suspended him, which is fine enough. Constitutionally, PDP and their top key stakeholders are right in doing that. But then again, let's not forget the apparatus in the country are answerable to Mr. President. So whatever the FCT minister needs to make sure he drives home his aim and objective, it will be released to him. A typical example is the example they shared with Abure, where Abure legally and constitutionally, when they held the election, when the INEC was present and everything, but when the time became right, INEC was in for LP.
Yes, they were not present.
They were not present,
yes.
Sorry to say, but eventually, Abure stormed the court. We all know that Wike is the judicial golden boy, according to the words of Sowore. Now, at the end of the day, Abure now is the recognized chair.
Exactly.
So you now see that everything and anything is possible outside their constitution, in as much as it's within the enclave or jurisdiction, and it favors some certain persons who are in the corridor of power. Now, if LP is rambling and PDP is rambling, by default, it shows that there is no opposition that will even come against, even if it's an incompetent government. Yeah. There is no platform for anybody to even vie for it. So it now is a case of forcing whatever that is available on Nigerians, whether we vote or not. This is what that is available. You must either take it or you take it. Now, whether PDP likes it or not, like he has rightly said, it's fight to finish. It is now a proxy fight, where Wike is taking all the shenanigans, insisting he's the one doing it, but getting all the power and tools he needs to make it happen. I will not be surprised if eventually, at the end of the day, when they hit the court, PDP will lose. Omotosho is there. And many others who may be willing to use the tools. Supreme Court, they may be surprised. The same Supreme Court that that is an internal issue, will now come back and say it is constitutionally not correct in Nigeria. And you begin to hear things like the Nigerian constitution supersede political situation, and this is a Nigerian situation. They will give a technical situation to it that at the end of the day, everybody will now begin to look on. We've seen it play out. Well, if you ask me, this whole thing now depends on Nigerians, sincerely speaking. And I cannot see the legislative arm insisting that political platform is no longer important for elections if individuals can come out on their own. But I know they will never do that, because if they do that, the likes of Peter Obi is going to go unopposed, and Nigerians will vote for him, free course on him. But then again, we are so sure that it will take a miracle for such to happen.
All right, thank you so much. And to add one or two to this, I think right now, with what I have seen, I'm trying to predict the political future now for Nigerian. Two parties are already down. Two major political parties. Labour Party is down. That's for, I'm talking about presidential now. And even I think presidential and every other thing. Labour Party is down by virtue of one man. PDP now is down, because I know that this battle is not going to end soon. And he will not stop fighting until he wins. And if he wins, remember that his verdict was there must not be any presidential candidate from People Democratic Party. So that party right now, I think PDP is, sorry to say, is going down. That's the truth. But let's meet in a conversation and talk more on